We are back once again. Okay, let's open exit. Okay. Switch back to this. Right. This should be interactable prop. Interaction type. None. Upgrade craft. Exit. Okay. Oh, right. Namespace. Minigames. Dot fight. Sir. Sir. Careful. You maniac. Okay. Now we say inherit from interactable prop. Are you really stuck? You got it. What are you stuck on? Is it just because you're fat? Look at you. Look at this dude. Cat cam. Look at you. Hang on. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. What are you doing with your life? Look at your chubby belly. Getting stuck crawling under my monitor. What are you doing? What are you doing? I know. You mad. You angry. Your life is so hard. I know. I know. Listen to those angry purrs. My background removal is getting confused by the presence of cat. It doesn't know what to do with cat. Alright. You're a good boy. Hey, I'm grabbing my phone, you dork. What are you doing? Jeez. Okay. Well, that was a nice distraction. Back to whatever I was doing. GX died. Again. Hey, buddy. Don't play with that. Power cords are not toys. I know it looks like a string, but it's not. Right. Sir. No. No. Not a toy. Stop it. I don't think he's strong enough to actually chew through it, but I don't really want to find out. Interactable prop, right. So you have trigger enter, you just dispatch the thing. Does Exit need to do anything different? No, not really. Wait, how does construction chamber work? Oh, no, so this doesn't inherit it. This just inherits mod behavior. Got it. I'm a little dumb, it's fine. Right. So then this just listens for the event. And what does the event do? We need a UI to be like, hey, where do you want to go? Player interacted. Right, so that's can interact, and then we do that. Then on player interact, it does that. Shit. I remember how all of this works. God damn it. Interactable prop, right. Interaction type can be what? None, upgrade craft, exit. On can interact, we do that. Store open equals true. Where does this get called from? Player controlled action finished. On can interact event. Where does this get dispatched from?
Hey,
How's it going?
good. What can I do for you, homie?
I'm just setting up the exit. So, here's my thought. We have one exit. You interact with it, that makes a UI menu pop up that's like a confirmation that you want to move on to the next floor. And then if the level is completed, it gives you the option to move on to the next floor or move on to the next biome. But for demo's sake, it will just pop up a message that's like, thanks for playing the demo for Let Me Atom. This is the end of
The demo.
This is the end of new content, but you can continue on
Got it.
infinitely in this biome if you want.
Okay. You want to help set up the UI code for that?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'd love to hang out and do some UI code.
Amber, I'm sorry, you're hitting zeros. You're hitting so many zeros.
We are currently under an Amber alert.
God damn it. Fuck off.
All right, bye.
No, don't make me do UI code alone. I was just kidding. Please come back.
I'm not qualified.
I just don't like it.
It's not bad, I promise. Tedious, yes. Bad, meh.
Oh, that's why I don't like it. I can do it, I just don't want to. Okay. So, first things first. I made a new interaction type for exit, so that we can just use the interactable prop. And my brain broke on this whole system because there's so many fucking points of communication. I'm not complaining. It works fine.
Oh, on the stats and saving all that jazz.
No, not that. We should do that too, though. So, it's actually very, very simple. Where's
Bold words.
Sorry. Progress settings. All that happens is... do I need to share my screen, or is my stream...
It's lagging, but it's
keeping
fine.
up? Okay. So, all that happens is we have levels 2 complete, which we set at editor time. Is completed is now levels completed is greater than or equal to levels 2 complete.
You want to rename world to biome?
Sure.
And levels to floors?
What's the command to change it everywhere?
Control R, Control R.
Biome. Do we want floors, or do we just levels fine?
It's fine. The only reason I said to do floors instead of levels is just because that's the terminology that we use, so it'll help us remember it.
That's
and then
fair.
yeah. Biome has floors, floors have rooms. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Change this to...
Instead of levels to complete, it's just floors to complete then?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, and then levels completed is floors completed, of course.
Yes. Floors to complete. Yep. Floors completed. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So...
serialization now?
Yeah. So all that happens is when you beat the boss, floors completed for current world, or now it will be current biome. Where is... Right. This needs to now be...
Biomes?
Biomes. Guess I should do that.
Oh,
And
and then line
then-
33 and 35.
Yep. This is why we never did this. Because there's just so many places.
Minorly annoying, but I think worth.
Yeah. Makes it more clear. For sure. Okay.
You can probably Okay, so you have 2 pieces for saving. Okay?
Okay.
So get progress for serialization gets all of the progress data that we want to save, right?
Yeah.
We can rename it to a better name if that helps. Like get data to save if you want.
No, this seems fine.
Okay. So all it does is we have the whole reason the data model exists is because not everything in player or progress settings wants to be saved, right?
Right.
Only stuff that changes at runtime. So all we do is we create a data model and we populate all the stuff in the data model. So in this case, world data can be renamed to biome data.
Yep. Biome data.
And then you have to rename the function and all the variables, sorry.
Yep. Get biome data. Biome data. Biome.
Biome model.
Biome model. I'm sure there will be more, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
World data on line 90.
90, yep, you right. Biome data.
Okay, so a progress model holds on to DNA, bank DNA, physical resources, and a list of all the biomes, right?
Yes.
So then I created a separate function to get all the data for the biome, which is just get biome data. And all it does is loop through the biomes and yoink out the data for their runtime changes, right?
Yep.
So then all you have to do is add in whatever you changed, which I think is levels completed.
Yeah. Which wasn't, is completed, wasn't even a thing before. Or like that wasn't even in here. So we weren't saving that anyway. Biome model. Oh, and this needs to be.
Yeah, you just have to go into the biome data class and add the.
Yeah, you're right. Right, this is now floors completed. Biome data, physical resources, that's all fine. Okay.
So instead of storing is unlocked and is completed in the save, we probably just want to store floors completed, and then we calculate which ones are unlocked and completed based on that when we start. Yeah?
Yes, that's already how it works.
Okay.
Oops. Equals biome dot floors completed. There we go. Okay, got it. Yeah, so
that's saving.
And then loading, I think I already set up properly.
Should we go double check?
Yep.
You can just find all references on progress model. You should see wherever it loads.
Fair enough, but I could also just do this.
I'm behind. I didn't see what your plan was. Load serialized progress. So we yoink those 3 things out. For each of the biomes, we set is unlocked and floors completed. You probably don't need to set is unlocked, right? Because that's going to be calculated based off of the floors completed of the guy before it.
Oh, yeah. Is unlocked.
Because otherwise they could potentially get out of sync. You could have the biome unlocked, but then somehow not have the levels completed if you go in and edit the JSON file.
Yeah. I actually don't know why you were doing this, because why you had it
was
like this.
Incorrect. Yes.
Yeah, because you had it set at runtime anyway.
Yep.
Okay. So now progress settings. Let's just double check. Where do you do so? Is unlocked.
I wrote this whole system at like 5 a.m., so it's not the best.
That's fair. So right, you do unlocked worlds, conquered equals worlds conquered, which gets, if it is completed, right.
Which is now your calculated property, right?
Yes. This is now Let's rename it to Biomes Completed instead of Biomes Conquered.
Yeah, we don't have that whole conquering syntax
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I ripped that out entirely. So now there's only one. There's no visit or travel versus conquer.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll get yeah. There was a bunch of these systems that just don't make any sense for us anymore. Basically, all of the home menu stuff is going bye-bye.
Yeah. Oops.
I do want to keep the code for like the map that gives you like a 2D set of sprites to like move around on, but that's like it.
Yeah, and that's gonna work a little different.
Yep. It's not gonna be planets anymore.
Whoops. What did I do? There. Right. So is completed is floor is completed greater than or equal to floor is 2 complete. And then floor is completed gets I don't like this. We should do like a complete floor method or something. So that we're not just doing a plus plus in boss room controller.
Yes.
Because
we'll probably want to have events in there.
Yeah, so should we dispatch an event or should we invoke a method?
Since it's on the game manager, you can just invoke the method, and if other people end up needing it, then the game manager could end up... Because the game manager holds on to the progress settings, right?
Yeah.
So you can say game manager.progress settings cleared floor once you kill the boss. And then if anything else needs to know about that information, then we can set an event from the progress settings.
Okay. Makes sense.
That way the boss room shouldn't know anything about that. It's just like, hey, you completed me.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll just do public void complete biome. And then we just want to say current biome dot or
you actually probably don't want to do complete biome. You want a complete floor, and that will handle whether or not it completes the biome.
You're right. I was just about to say the same thing. Current biome dot floors completed plus. And then go back to boss room controller, and we just want to say progress settings dot complete floor. Oop. That way it doesn't need to know what biome we're on, it doesn't need to know anything, it just knows we completed a floor.
Oh, I actually have a fun feature that you can add that'll be enjoyable to do. When the boss dies, make him drop you can make him drop physical resources and like spit them out. And you can also make him drop a chest that you can go interact with that gives you 1 upgrade for free. Like we talked about.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, it probably is more fun to have it be a chest, huh? Ooh, what we can do is when the upgrades...
I did have a buddy play test last night, and his big feedback was the enemies don't have any like oomph feeling when you hit them. They just do the gray. So we need to fix that. And then the other thing was he didn't even notice that he was getting money, so having something drop when they die.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then keep your little magnet effect that you were doing with the resource caches.
Yep. That way you don't have to do the arduous running around picking up gems from...
Exactly. I will put all of this in the GitHub project for us.
Yeah, that gives us... that gives me some stuff to do.
Yep.
Oomph is sound effects.
It is mostly sound effects, but I just don't like the VFX that I set up right now. So
that's totally fair, but listen...
90% of the feel will be sound, yes, I agree.
Yeah. See what people think with just sound effects, because I showed you that short about how sound effects impact what your brain thinks it's seeing, even.
Yes. I just wanted to add, like, I was going to ask Stoff for a little explosion of the bullet, or like a disintegration or something, as well as instead of having the sprite just blink gray, like, I don't know, add a flash around them as you hit them, or something like that. I don't know exactly what to do yet. Have them jiggle when they get hit or something.
Something, yeah. I wonder... would this be worth it? So we're going to be setting up object pooling for projectiles no matter what, right? That's probably going to be a necessary performance thing.
Yeah, and object pooling for that damage text.
So if we already have object pooling set up, I have an idea. This will help a lot, actually. Okay. So we need a couple more things from stuff.
Okay. If he doesn't let me know that he's not busy here soon, I may reach out to somebody and try and get somebody to fill in, because we're pretty behind on art.
Pretty behind on art, but I think he said he was going to be available
like around today.
Yeah. Okay, so we shoot, and this is actually really easy to do. On hit, we spawn an animation that's a little blood spurt on the location that the hit occurred. And then the rotation just rotates basically opposite of the bullet direction, right?
Yep.
And then, so we have two sprites. We have a little blood spurt animation that just sprays out. And then we have a little puddle on the ground for each enemy. That it won't spawn on every hit. We'll give it like a 1 in 5 chance to spawn. So that you're leaving little
trails.
Little blood trails. Or bug goo trails. Wherever you are hitting enemies. That way it's modifying the environment too.
Yep.
Which
That'll add way more visual stuff, because I feel like we're the other feedback I got from my buddy that playtested the game is the art that we do have is beautiful. There's just a lot of empty space.
Yeah. Which
again, yeah, I know, I agree.
Yeah. But things like this will help. Feeling like you have had an impact on the environment.
Yep. And it'll actually fill up way quicker once we get in the rest of the AoE effects and whatnot.
Yeah.
It'll look more like a better design choice once we have all this stuff popping up on screen.
Absolutely. And having larger sprites will help too. Larger props. And then stretch goal stuff, we can set up particle effects that trigger when you hit props and stuff like that, just so that there's more visually happening. Like have little leaves fall in addition to the wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Leaves fall would be dope.
But yeah, I think having blood or bug goo, whatever, on normal hits and not just like the one death animation will help a lot, because already having the bodies persist is really cool. The fact that they're just kind of littered everywhere, it feels like you actually had an impact on an area, but having more of that would be a lot better. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves in games when they have stuff like this and it doesn't persist, because it's the performance hit you take for having a few extra sprites on screen at any given time is so minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And all that happens when they remove that stuff after a certain period of time is that you no longer feel like you've been in an area. That's something I really hate about Binding of Isaac, is like so much shit gets like covers the ground, and then you clear a room and a lot of that stuff clears out.
It always feels bad, like when you're playing like CSGO or something and you're shooting a wall. The game would be immediately more fun if I could draw shit on the wall by shooting the wall, you know? But after 5 bullet hits, the decals despawn, you know?
Yeah, I know. Which
drives me nuts.
Annoys the shit out of me.
It's such a minor performance.
Right. especially like Counter-Strike 2 has volumetric smoke that reacts to physics objects. Like you can shoot it and it clears away for a second, but they won't let decals stay. Like you have the most performance intensive cloud effect VFX that you could possibly
don't get me started
have.
on CS2 volumetric smoke grenades.
Like, that is the worst thing you could possibly do for performance, but letting someone draw a dick on a wall, nope. Couldn't possibly let that happen. And I know, too, because I built half a shooter in Unity that I still want to go back and finish at some point that has bullet decals. And just for fun, I spawned, like, as many as I could on one wall and didn't lose a single frame. Like, there was literally, like, 600 bullet decals, and it took
And we're not even used, like, burst compiler or GPU instancing, or, like, as soon as you add that, it's literally just trivial to spawn as many as you want.
Right. But
it's all one draw call.
Even just as it was, I took more of a performance hit having, you know, one nav mesh agent in the scene than having 600 bullet decals. But anyway, yeah, I think this will help the oomph, and then sound effects will get it the rest of the way there. And then we should just have I think we don't put this on the player. Because I think as soon as you have human blood and gore, it gets too grim.
Agreed. Yeah, as soon as you said blood, I was already like, eh. But if it's like blood guts spurting out every once in a while, that's fine.
Yeah. This is on bugs, so it's still cartoon violence. As soon as it's on the player, it gets grim.
Yep.
In fact, here, let's make this green. That instantly, even on my shitty dev art, that instantly makes it look more friendly. Yeah. So we don't put this on the player, but having it on enemies will help the oomph. The sound effects will get it the rest of the way. Sound effects are gonna be tough for this game because we want cartoony but semi-realism, but crushing bugs is disgusting sounding, so I've got to find a creative way to make it sound less just fucking disturbing.
I did get a buddy that I've worked with for a while finally reached back out about making the Steam art, so I'm messaging them. Sorry if I'm half here.
Oh no, that's great though.
Her art's amazing.
I think I've got to do mouth noises.
Ooh.
I think that's gonna be the only way to make it cartoony enough.
I think you're right.
I think it's just gonna have to be heavily edited. Otherwise it'll just be way too wet and crunchy.
I don't like any of those words.
No.
Here's the Instagram of the chick that's gonna help us, most likely.
Wait. Don't do it that way. Copy it in, because Chrome is still my default browser, and it will kill everything.
Oh look, I got a tier 1 sub to Pirate Software.
Hey, nice.
Thanks for the gifted sub, whatever you did to Miggy.
Oh yeah, this is nice. Love that art style. Super cool.
Very talented. I'm curious to see how she adapts to our style.
Yeah.
She's been working on Stefano's Starlight Express game.
Yeah, that drawn style is fine.
Yep.
As long as it like the color scheme is correct, it can be any art style really. Doesn't have to match the art style of the game. Most
What do you envision for the logo of our game?
something kind of anime banner-esque. Like, hang on.
Google bug game logo. Okay, game that did really well. Grounded. I'm gonna go look at their store page. I'm like trying to think of something that's similar to ours, you know?
Yeah. Trying to see. There's a non-zero chance I'm having a Mandela effect moment right now.
So Grounded is 4 characters standing on a leaf with a bug attacking them, which makes sense. It's a co-op game, so that's what they're trying to hint at.
Yeah.
So with ours, it's more like you're this mad scientist standing on top of the world, but the world's actually really small. And the other thing we want to hint at is that you mutate.
Yes.
So it's almost like we just want the logo to be our main character, like standing on top of like a mound of dead bugs, you know?
That could be cool. I am indeed having a Mandela effect moment.
What do you mean by that?
So I have a distinct memory of, during character transformations in Sailor Moon, a banner with their name appearing at like the end of the transformation. And that just...
Oh, I guess just like completely misremembering.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen. The Mandela effect is when people have when people collectively have a memory of something that is incorrect, and the theory is that it's alternate universes, when in reality, most likely humans just remember things wrong, and we're similar enough to remember things wrong in similar ways. So if I went on Reddit and was like, hey, I have this distinct memory of watching Sailor Moon as a kid and seeing this thing, I'm sure there would be at least a half a dozen other people who are like, I remember that too, and we're just all wrong. We just all have the same false memory. But it is funny watching people be like, there's multiple universes, and we just randomly switch them as kids, and that's why you remember it being cup noodles, and I remember it being cup o noodles. Even though that one just actually, they changed the name, which is really funny. Wait. What about this?
Yeah, I have the name of the game physically drawn out in paint right now, and I'm trying to just like see if I can like draw bug arms on it or something.
So I talked about wanting the exit animation to be like he jumps on a drone.
Yeah.
And surfs on it, and then like there's kind of a cheesy, he goes towards the camera with fucking sunglasses on or something and gives a thumbs up. What if we have a scene like that? So he's not standing on a mountain of bugs, he's flying away from like a mound of bugs.
Now that would be cooler.
With the name of the game in like a stretched banner under him.
Yes, we need a few things, right? We need just the logo that's like super crisp and gets the point across in very like simple terms.
Yes.
But then we need like hero image, and then like the capsule that you get when you like are in Steam and you search, and you get that little preview.
Yeah. Let's look at Binding of Isaac.
Yeah. Binding. See, theirs is very plain. It's just Binding of Isaac and then has wings on either side. And then when you blow it up and see the full thing, it's him like cuddled up. Yeah, it's spooked by monsters. Where are the rest of your image? Okay, so we need the header capsule. It'll appear at the top of your page in the store in the recommended for you section in grid view. The small capsule is used in lists in Steam. The main capsule is at the top of the front page. The vertical capsule is used at the top of the front page during sales. Okay, so those are the four things we need.
Yeah.
So where does okay, I need to go find like Binding of Isaac in the store.
Yeah, I'm on it in the store, and there's no top banner image.
Well, because when you like click on it to go to the actual game, the like icons it use are completely separate from when you like happen to naturally like scroll upon it in the store.
Right. Yeah.
Well, actually, like if I look at like Subnautica, a lot of these actually have the same icon, just stretched differently. Okay, so maybe it's not.
That's not uncommon.
Yeah, I'm only seeing like big AAA games, like Battlefield, for example, has different like logos.
It can't hurt if we can do it, but
yeah, BeamNG, same logo.
So
okay, you know what came to mind actually when I was thinking of the Mound of Bugs? I was thinking World War Z.
Okay, interesting.
Like just that like overwhelming like mass of things chasing you, you know? That it's an image that like comes to mind when you think of zombies, right? They're like this massive pile of zombies like climbing this wall.
So here's my thought. And then our other images can just be variations of this, right? But this is like the most iconic one, or like the most in it would be this. So you've got, this is your mound of bugs. We've got our dude surfing away on a thing, giving a thumbs up or a middle finger. You can't really tell which in this image. And then he should have a lot of bug features. He should have more than he normally has.
Yes, we haven't. We need like a whole pass on art for this. That's like the first thing I want to do after demo.
Yeah, but regardless, to sell the mutation thing, he should be very bug-like in this image.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be our whole pitch for like Kickstarter and early access.
Yeah,
is let us expand on the bug making concept because we need a lot of art.
And then under it, you have like a swoosh to indicate that he's moving, right?
And in the swoosh like, is the word?
Up and away. And then on it, it says the name. So the minimalist logo can be like just the swoosh with the name on it.
Yep.
And then
now, how do we sell the pun? The "let me at him" versus "let me at him"? How do we make it abundantly obvious?
Make the O an atom. Or put an atom inside of the O.
That's beautiful. Okay, so main logo looks like it. I wish I had a drawing tablet sometimes. feel like it's hard to fit all of this in one image.
I think it's fine because we'll use different parts of it for different images, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not streaming, but if we were streaming, the like smaller images will be like, okay. So I was thinking about making his hoverboard bigger and having Let Me Add Him be in his hoverboard, so we don't have multiple things.
Yeah.
And then like the zoomed in image would be like one bug like reaching up to attack him. Like you could like just barely see him at the bottom of the screen, and it's like zoomed in on the player. And then as you get bigger images, it kind of zooms out on that image.
Yeah. I like the swoosh though. Because I think the swoosh, Let Me Add Him kind of swooshing out, is a good logo on its own. A lot of really successful games don't have a character in their logo. And there's a reason why this is good. So, the most simplified image is just the image you see when you're like scrolling through the store page, right? That's like the small one, and it's what you see on links as well. So,
yeah, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna send you the link to Binding of Isaac just so I can see what their link shows up in as in Discord. Yeah, it does show you the full image. It shows you like a preview of the trailer.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, it shows different things, but regardless, and it's going to be different on mobile too. Let me verify that, because I think that's the way it's supposed to work. I'm just going to pull this up on my phone.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. It doesn't show anything on my phone.
Yeah, no mobile image.
Discord update.
Yep, fuck. I hate the new mobile Discord.
Everybody's complaining. I haven't noticed much of a difference.
Well, yeah, your DM menu used to be just on the same.
Yeah.
And you could just swipe right and
yeah.
pull it up. But anyway, so here's the thing. So let's say it's this.
Coming. Oh, yeah.
You see a dude, he's got antennas, he's got maybe bug eyes, he's got like wings coming off of his back.
A beetle shell.
Big old shell. Maybe hook feet or something.
And the stitch arms coming
out. Oh yeah, he's got his weird weapon arms coming out of his sides. What about this image is most memorable to you, if you're imagining all of that?
Oh, it's the character for sure.
It's like
the whole selling point.
Do we want people to, if they just happen upon this as they're scrolling past, do we want them to remember the character when they're thinking about it later? Or do we want them to remember the name of the game so that they can actually look it up? The problem with emphasizing an image is that if they don't download it right away, they won't be able to find it later based on that image. If they Google...
look at some of the biggest games, and they have like massive title and then like one character standing next to the title.
Yeah. Title is emphasized the shit out of because...
Actually, here, I have the perfect example for us. Go to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah?
I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
It's like title, our character on the right, and then some bugs like in the background.
Or we can do Binding of Isaac,
where you get like just the plain logo, and then when you go in, it blows out.
It blows out and shows
yeah.
the guy standing over it and the bugs beneath him, right? Because if someone has clicked on it, then...
Yeah, we just need the first initial logo to be interesting enough for people to want to click on it.
Yeah. But I think Let Me Add Him in like a swoosh with an atom in the O is interesting enough that people will remember it and maybe want to look it up later. Once they've clicked on it, that's a different story, right? But if you look at the Binding of Isaac, all iterations of it, except Afterbirth Plus, which was the least popular DLC, by the way. Afterbirth Plus doesn't have a super interesting emphasis on the name. It's Isaac with a plus sign next to it. It's got really interesting background that you can hardly see, right?
Yeah, the contrast is off.
The original Binding of Isaac, you have Isaac crying under it with a couple monsters in the background, but the name really stands out. Afterbirth is just the logo with an interesting font color on the font.
And then Repentance has awful contrast as well.
Where is Repentance?
I just searched Binding, and I'm looking at all four.
Why am I not seeing Repentance? Oh, yeah. Repentance has awful contrast, but at least the logo is interesting, and it draws attention to the name. There's not a ton going on in the background. And then Rebirth is arguably the best because it's just the logo with wings on it in a black background. Granted, the game was already popular by the time that came out.
Yeah.
But it still looks clickable. Like, it's an interesting looking logo.
Like, I look at Elden Ring, and it's literally black background, golden letters. That's it.
Right.
Like, Apex, I have no idea what Apex is until I click on it. Cyberpunk, no idea. Destiny, no idea. Destiny and Overwatch both have a logo that has nothing to do with the game at all. I don't know how they made that work. Marketing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Okay, small game that did well. Dead by Daylight. Yeah, same thing. Big logo, lot going on in the background, high contrast.
Yeah, let's look at, hang on.
Path of Exile. Awful contrast. Big logo, lot going on in the background. I have it. It's obviously Big Let Me At Him in the middle. On the right hand side is the player, like squaring off against the praying mantis with like his eye, like with like his eyebrow raised, that like piece of the image that Soph made.
Mm-hmm.
They're like just about to get into a duel. That's interesting.
Yeah. And then we can still do the flying away from the mound of bugs.
On the big like hero.
On the big one. And then we can have the praying mantis on top of the pile reaching for him.
Yes. Beautiful. That way I love it.
Yep.
So now it just grabs screenshot of praying mantis. I'm sending her up like, yeah, an example.
So I have another good example for you.
Okay.
These are both horror games, but I feel like visible logo is universal. Look up My Beautiful Paper Smile, and then look up Choo Choo Charles.
I actually watched Buddy play Choo Choo Charles.
So, it's the same developer for both of these games. My Beautiful Paper Smile has 300 reviews. Choo Choo Charles has 11,000.
Yeah, the My Beautiful Smile logo does not make me want to click on it.
No.
Choo Choo Charles is just weird enough that it's like, what the fuck is that? I need to learn more.
Exactly. And the name is very visible. When I look at Choo Choo Charles, weirdly, the first thing I see is the name, and the second thing that I see is Nightmare Train.
Yeah.
Which Nightmare Train stands out so heavily. It's crazy that Choo Choo Charles is the first thing that I see, but the name is the first thing that I see. And that's what we want. We want people to notice enough in the logo that they find it interesting and want to click on it, But the very first thing they should notice is the name, so that if they don't click on it right away, there's a chance they'll remember it and look it up later. Because sometimes you're just scrolling, and you see something, and you're like, oh, that looks interesting, maybe I'll check that out later. And then you never check it out. But if there's a lot of emphasis on the dude, then they're going to be Googling, like, roguelike where you play as a guy who mutates into a bug. And we're not going to come up on that search.
Where the fuck did we put the sprite for that place? Jesus. What folder are you in? Has shadows. Oh, I see why you did that. Okay. It's all coming together.
What's another? Damn, that's funny. On the flip side of that, Five Nights at Freddy's has a terrible logo.
It really does.
And still did super well. So it's not everything, obviously, but what this comes down to is I think the formula for game dev success is polish times luck times time. The more polish you add, the less luck you need. And then the longer it's out there, the more that luck just gets spread out over a long portion of time. Scott Cawthon, I mean, you watch Thor stuff, Pirate Software stuff. You probably heard him talk about Fart Hotel.
Not ringing a bell.
Scott Cawthon released multiple games every year from 1994 up until FNAF. The same year that he released FNAF, he released a game called Fart Hotel, where there's a bunch of characters in front of you, and you have to guess which one farted, and if you guess wrong, they all laugh at you.
Oh.
And what inspired him to make Five Nights at Freddy's is that someone made a negative comment, a criticizing comment on that game, saying that the characters were creepy because they resembled animatronics. So he released so many bad games before he got lucky with this one. Which is why it's like, I think there's a degree at which it's no longer luck if you released hundreds of games. It's just like, inevitably one of them's going to blow up eventually. But since we don't want to release hundreds of games, we should probably have a better logo. I think it's one of the two. You go quantity or one really good one.
Okay. What do you think about this? With that scientist man looking more buggy, obviously.
Yeah.
And then something to make the text prettier.
So like they're squaring up on either side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both like, let me at him, right? Like, it's like the whole vibe.
No, yeah. I think that works. I think we need to do a couple variations of this in terms of their positioning. Because you don't necessarily notice the center of an image first.
You notice the thing with the most contrast first.
Yeah. So
Which can be solved with color.
Yeah. I think color is going to be the biggest thing, but then sometimes, like,
Well, so what I'm envisioning in the middle in between them is like a grassy field, and so there'll be like blue background sky in between them, and then the text can pop out.
Yeah, that works. We need to see how that works, and we might need to move things around a little bit. The reason I say that is for English speakers, the top left corner of an image is naturally the first thing we look at because we're used to going top to bottom, left to right. And so if the text is attention grabby enough, it will pull your eyes to it immediately anyway. But one of the reasons Choo Choo Charles is so visible on the logo is that it is top left.
The other option we could do is kind of the perspective that Choo Choo Charles did, where the player's in the bottom left, the enemy's in the top right.
Yeah, but we can play it with a couple variations on it. Like just tell her not to polish or finalize anything. Yeah. I think that's a solid plan, though. Yeah, so we do that. That as like the small logo, and then the blown up logo is he's flying away.
Yep.
And the mantis is reaching up at him.
I may have to rethink this a little bit, because usually when the games zoom out, like, actually we could keep the same for the blown up image too, huh? If we just add more scenery around the little encounter.
We could do that, yeah. Or we could do like Binding of Isaac, where the logo is just there, the same, with a blue background, and then we have an image off to the side of him flying away, more zoomed out.
Yeah. Yep.
So that it doesn't grab attention as much.
Yep.
That's actually probably the play. I really like their zoomed out image. I like that it's just the logo, but then there's a scene away from it.
Well, I think theirs works because it's meant to be like this guy's all alone in the darkness. Ours isn't really that same vibe, so we'll have to play with what's on the left-hand side a little bit.
Yeah, that's why it'll be like a sky instead, because the vibe is more we're a small hero in a big world.
Yep.
So whereas Binding of Isaac is very claustrophobic, we want ours to feel very open and like you're small. Which is why I think having it be very zoomed out, where like you see him flying away from a mound of bugs and the mantis is jumping out at him, but that's all condensed to like the bottom right-hand corner and the rest is just open sky, might fit the vibe better.
Yep. We'll see what she comes back with on first pass with that example.
Yeah, no, that works.
Where were we on getting things done before we get too lost in the sauce here? We got serialization working.
Yeah, so now it's just we need UI for completing each floor of like, do you want to progress or do you want to? Well, yeah, basically just do you want to progress, and then if it's completed, final game, like past demo, we'll want it to be once it's completed. You just every time you beat a floor, you have the UI of do you want to progress to the next floor or move to the next biome, like every time. We don't want to show the
we can actually build. No, we should actually build in all of that UI right now, and then when you click go to next biome, then it'll just show you a pop-up rather than load the next biome.
Yeah, you're right.
That way everything's in place. All we have to do is just literally use the exact same method that we have now, but instead of showing a pop-up, it just loads the next biome.
Yep, that works. Okay. So right. So we need you interact.
Yep, the exit's going to be an interactable prop, and then when you interact, it spawns it tells the UI manager to toggle on the end of floor UI,
Yeah.
which all that system's already set up for you.
Yep. So we just progress pops up.
Then it says floor or biome.
Say yes or no. Right. So until you beat the biome, it will only be floor. And then you click on progress, and it just pops up with like, "Are you sure?" to make sure, because if you left something behind and you accidentally click on it, you wouldn't want that.
To instantly, yeah.
And then we have this just pop up a "Thanks for playing. You can continue in endless mode if you want" menu. And then all this does is just basically reload the scene.
What we could do to make it better in the future is when the boss room is done, the one of the grass pieces opens up and you can walk through that to go deeper in the floor, or you can walk to your hoverboard, hop on that, and that takes you to the biome.
We could. And then we just check if it's our first time in that biome, if it crashes.
Then your hoverboard just doesn't spawn until you have enough to go to the next biome.
Well, because the intro animation, I want it to be him like crashing his hoverboard, and it explodes. And then that's like the kind of the running joke the whole time is that he could just fly directly to where he needs to go, but because he insists on flying it incorrectly, he destroys it every time. But we could have that only happen upon your first entry to a biome.
Yep.
And then have just walking through grass be the other thing.
That way it's more of like a physical interaction of like, hey, I'm going deeper. I'm walking through this grassland to go to the next like deeper part. Or I'm flying to leave to go to the next biome.
Yeah. How does entering the... Because I'm trying to think of visual polish here. The way he exits should be the way he enters. We don't want him to just fade in the new area.
What do you mean?
If he walks through the grass out, he should walk out of the grass into the new floor.
Oh, rather than just like spawning in the center?
Yeah.
I mean, that's relatively easy. We just have two different start room prefabs.
That's fine. I'm just thinking about the start room can have 4 connections, potentially.
The preceding, like when you go deeper, then it just is only allowed to have 3, and it can backtrack back to the left if you always come in from the left, you know?
Yeah. No, that's fair. I guess I can only have 2, really, because they're all larger. Like, if you have... Because the start room is the smallest room.
Yeah.
If you have a room like this, you can't have a room here.
Yep.
So it can only be maximum either side. So that's actually fine. We know which walls or which entrances have connections and which ones don't. So we can just say pick one that... Because it doesn't have to be the same direction he left through. That's arbitrary. We can just say pick a random one, or pick the first one that doesn't have a connection currently, and then do it there. Yeah.
The artist asked if we want it to be in pixel art or digital art.
I think digital art.
I think so too. That tends to be able to look cleaner with a lot less work.
Yeah. Not many people do pixel art logos, and I think there's a reason for that. Let's see. Look up Noita.
I haven't played that yet, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Oh, it's a great game. But it's also a game that has very... it is extremely low res.
Yeah, but even the logos... Yeah, I mean, it's pixel art, but it still looks like digital art, more than their game does.
Yeah. And I think since we have high-res pixel art, I think the idea is to always have your logo be higher res than your game.
Yeah.
Especially because we can embed GIFs in the description. So we can show gameplay even if people don't look at the screenshots.
Yep.
So yeah, I think digital for sure. Oh, Christ.
He's back?
I'm back.
Long button question mark?
No, it just crashed. It's fine. Everything dies on my PC every 5 minutes. I realize it's been a minute since I've physically cleaned it, so that's probably part of the problem. Things might be getting overheated. Okay. Let's switch my view back. So, yeah, and then I just made it a red circle for now.
The exit?
Because dev art, yeah.
Yep.
And then, one thing about doing the hoverboard and the exit to the grass, though, was like, so it opens up, and then do you have to interact with different things, depending on where you want to go?
What do you mean?
So, you kill dude. Opening
you
pops
killed
up.
Pregnantus, yes.
Opening pops up here. And you go through that to go to the next floor.
Yeah.
But then, does the quadcopter pop up and that pops up once you've beat the level, and then you interact with one or the other depending on where you want to go?
Them popping up is a little weird.
It feels kind of like you want to interact with one thing.
I kind of like that they're separate, because you have like separate intentions.
I don't know how I feel about that.
What could happen is once you defeat a boss, the player kind of like beeps on his like little wristwatch or something, and the hoverboard comes and sets down.
Which
like
is
the first
fine.
time you've cleared enough floors for you to go to the next biome, it gives you like an indicator like, hey, at any point you can touch this hoverboard to go.
Yeah, and that part's fine. It just feels weird that you have to physically walk to two separate locations depending on where you want to go.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, what it adds is you get a cool visual difference, and we're not overusing the, like, action star jump on the hoverboard thing. But what it removes is a streamlined approach to leaving. If there's one thing you interact with and then the UI decides where you go, then that's less
I think
input.
it's less work for... I think it's more input to have a UI, because now I have to walk to the thing and then figure out which thing to click, versus just walk to one thing or walk to another. Like, the decision's made before, like, you don't have to click on anything, right?
That's
it's the
fair.
same amount of walking either way.
Well, if the hoverboard pops down, like, in the middle, then there's... You just walk up to it and do the thing. Otherwise, you have to walk up to it or walk up here or to one of the sides and exit that way. It's not that much more. It just, I don't know. Something about the design of that feels weird to me. I think just because most games have an exit.
I think for the exit, wherever the boss enters, like the praying mantis like walks in from the top right now, we can just have that grass not be there, and you just can't walk out of it until the boss is dead. I don't know if that'll be confusing.
No, we don't want there to be a visual exit until it's time to leave.
Okay.
Invisible walls feel bad.
True.
That part's fine. What I'm more worried about is, so if you interact with one thing and the UI prompts you where to go, it's explicitly telling you which option you're picking.
Now that is a valid argument.
If you have two things to interact with, we're then putting
Neither of them are telling
responsibility
you what's
on
happening.
the player to remember which is which. And if they forget, then they have to interact with it to see what it does, and then back out of that menu to then go and do the other thing.
My counter argument is they'll only have to do it once, because then it's really obvious what's happening. But yeah, that's a valid argument.
Like, they only have to do it once in theory, but then what if they, don't play for a couple months and they come back to it? People's memories are bad.
I don't have strong opinions either way. If we want to just do the UI approach to start out, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think for demo
It's
purposes...
easier. It's easier. Let's do it.
Okay. So we'll just do drone either way, and then the intro sequence will be the drone crashing into the center of the start room. Which makes life easier across the board, not having two entry methods.
The other option is to put all of the UI in the research chamber. And have it teleport you.
For the sake of not having extra animations for demo, that would be fine. I think it's so hard to decide what to sacrifice for the demo. Because if it's not...
Okay, give me your ideal world. We have infinite time, infinite money.
Infinite time, infinite money. You destroy the boss. The research chamber pops up. And then a drone, flies out of it and hovers right behind it. You go, you do your thing, you come out, you interact with it, it prompts you where you want to go. You fly off, and we have, 6 different flyaway animations where he does, one of them he does a handstand, one of them he gives a thumbs up. Stuff like that.
Wait, yeah, let's just do that. Rather than walking up to the wall and figuring out which direction to go, just walk up to your fucking flying thing and let it take you wherever you're going to go. And for now, for the flying thing, we'll just use the red circle.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was suggesting. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying we walk up to the door and then you have UI, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I was saying we just do the flying thing no matter what.
My bad.
And
I'm a poor listener.
And then when you start, instead of the screen just fading in, the quadcopter flies in from the left with him surfing on it, and he hops off of it into the center, and it crashes over here. And then it's just there burning through your entire playthrough whenever you come back.
Okay,
I think
I think we're on the same page here.
I think that gives the most continuity for what's going on.
I agree. We use hoverboard for all the things.
Use hoverboard for all the things, and then if we want to, we can make the hoverboard just look a little more robust after we've cleared the biome, just as like an indicator of like, this one can take you further if you want.
Yeah, the other option is the hoverboard can have a piece of UI that you pay to upgrade it, so you can go to the next biome.
That would be interesting. Do we want to lock progression behind payment, though?
I don't really want to lock... Okay, so let me phrase it this way. The payment wouldn't be high. It would be just enough to guarantee that you've done a certain amount of floors that we want. But the downside is if we don't make a new resource for it, it eats into your upgrade resources, so maybe not.
Yeah, that seems unnecessarily complicated.
Yep, I agree.
I think it would be fun if every time you clear a biome, we'll just call it transportation device, because we're not sold on any design for it yet, gets a little bit chunkier.
Yep. I think that's kind of what we're leaning into, right? Is like as we progress through the game, the visuals need to progress with it.
Yeah.
The biome, the player, your research chamber.
You get buggier. Your flight device gets a little bit bigger and a little more high-tech looking.
Yep.
And then you still just... And that's regardless of if you choose to progress. You're still just... You can still use your... Like, if you go back to Grasslands, you still have a massive fucking flying device, and you still crash it when you go into the new floor.
Yep.
But it's just like, this can take you further.
I'm with it.
And then, yeah, research chamber, and that's actually perfect if we do put the...
construction table?
If we put the research table next to the crafting chamber, we can add beakers and stuff to it.
Exactly. And we could actually start out with just the research chamber and add the construction table as you go to the next biome.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's true. So for demo, we can have one extra quadcopter and add the research table. And that's just your indicator that you have cleared this biome. And then you don't obviously get to move on. But I think that's a really good way to sell the fact that progression is going to change the visuals if they just change even when you beat the demo, and then you can keep going.
Okay, before we spend too much time on design, should we go ahead and set up this UI so we have this working? We have something to show for our efforts.
Yeah.
Is there any other things you want to talk through?
No. I think we've got a good concept here. So we need quadcopter fly out of crafting chamber, which doesn't need to look like anything fancy. It can just come out from behind it, or it can even just float down from the top. It doesn't really matter.
I was thinking the quadcopter is like carrying the research chamber and sets it down.
Yeah, that's beautiful, actually. Then we have an explanation as to how it got there. Yep.
Exactly, rather than it just popping up. I was trying to figure out how to reconcile that.
Yep. No, great idea. So, okay. Quadcopter carries in chamber.
Sets chamber down, sets down on the ground, and then you can interact with either one.
So, if we can bother Stoff for this, in a perfect world, the quadcopter drops down just like a pile of junk, and the junk, like Transformer style, pops up.
That'd be fun.
Because I don't feel like we're selling the trash goblin aspect of this character enough. Even though, like, you know, the research table is a paperclip and, like, all of that stuff, it still doesn't feel like this stuff's tossed. It's not Rick Sanchez in a garage with a bunch of trash and parts tinkering sort of feel yet. So having it just like drop a pile of trash that inexplicably turns into this high-tech equipment feels like it would sell that a little bit better.
Yep.
I like the idea that he has zero budget for any of this, and he's just really fucking smart.
It's just random stuff he's cobbled together.
Yep.
I wrote that one down.
Okay, so just to recap, you
Boss
beat
dies.
boss.
Quadcopter flies in, carrying a big bundle of junk. Bundle of junk drops on ground. Go ahead.
Let's add one more layer to this.
Okay.
Because motivation is important, even if your game doesn't have a ton of story. Why does he bother to fight all of these bosses, and why does fighting these bosses enable this to happen?
He needs to like stick his hand into the boss and like rip out guts or something like that, you know?
No, I think every one of these bugs has swallowed the remote to his quadcopter.
That's amazing.
And so you kill the bug spits up a remote, he hits the button, the quadcopter comes down.
Write that down.
And that's also where you you have to interact with the boss. That gives you your reward and allows you to call in the quadcopter.
You interact with his body, which prompts the reward. You interact with his body, which doesn't prompt the reward, which spits out the copter remote and a effect.
Yeah.
It would do like a scroll or a piece of DNA or something like that.
Yeah. It could be a vial, it could be whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to make sense, it just needs to make sense in the world.
You interact with the remote, and then the quadcopter comes into the scene, drops a pile of trash that transforms into the research chamber, and the copter sits down next to it.
Yep. And then you can interact with the chamber to do all the stuff you need to do, and then you can interact with the quadcopter to leave. Quadcopter plays a random from a list of animations of him leaving, where he does some cool old man thing, like a hang loose or a handstand or something, and then load the next scene, he crashes it into the ground and it sits there burning.
Oh my god, this gives us the perfect opportunity for a loading screen. The guy flies up into the air, and it just like kind of like seamlessly turns into this loading screen of you flying into the air. And you kind of keep that loading screen animation going until the next level's loaded.
That completely works. Yep. This feels so important to me.
Narrative-wise, this makes the game feel like an actual story.
Exactly, and that feels so important for demo because this is the style. Style is what sells people on a game. And if we're able to keep this cohesive style from when you enter until you leave, that's going to make it seem 500% more polished.
Okay, so you interact with the copter, do a cool old man thing as you fly away. Then when you get in the air, kick off the loading the next floor biome. Then you kill off the flying animation and the copter crashes into the ground. Perfect. Way, way, way better. So much better.
Fucking beautiful.
It's a whole different level of better.
Yep. And then I'll just do like an electric guitar stinger as you as you fly off and as you land. Yeah, exactly. Just to...
And then fun little elevator loading music as you're flying.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even have to bug ram for that. I could do those. Those are easy. Doing, yeah, like a dad rock riff as you fly away and as you land. Even though
Dad
that's
rock.
like,
That's actually exactly the vibe.
yeah.
That nails it.
Even though it completely doesn't fit with the other musical style, I think that honestly makes it better. Because there's such a dissonance in what's like what he thinks is happening and what's actually happening in terms of how cool he is.
It like reminds me of that scene from Spider-Man where he's walking down the street thinking he's the coolest shit ever, but he just looks like a dork.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the vibe. That is the vibe. Peter Parker with the Venom suit is the vibe. Well, specifically Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker with the Venom suit.
Okay, so then the fact that you're interacting with the quadcopter to choose your landing zone really helps us determine what the UI should look like then.
Absolutely.
You're like zooming in to the quadcopter's like little button interface to do things.
Yeah, no, for sure. It has like a little screen and and yeah, long term as you progress, the screen can look more and more high tech.
Yep.
Like it starts off as like just a CMD press Y or N sort of interface, and then it leads into a full like
the
bird's eye
design
view
of the
camera.
quadcopter is going to be really important here because he's going to be the guy that's picking you up and resin your ass. So he needs to be like a friendly.
You think quadcopter becomes medicbot?
Yeah, I think they're the same thing. Because that way when you like interact with it, like you like go into like zoom into his menu and he's like, all right, where are we going, boss?
Yeah, no, that's true. And then we can have voice acting.
And it's the same thing for both. It cuts down some work.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because medicbot was going to be a stretch goal that we probably weren't even going to be able to get in demo. But
And
if
now
it's
it's
just
one thing.
quadcopter version 2.0, then we can just get
It's
voice
not- it's
acting
like-
in there. We can get everything to sell the style of the game into the demo.
And it's like every scientist needs like somebody to like show off to.
yeah,
And this is his like subservient, like he programmed this little AI, but it still backtalks.
yeah, totally. It becomes like Butterbot, where it's too
Exactly.
intelligent for its job.
I'm with it. So then we just need to kind of, it's not going to be just a hoverboard. It's going to be more like a little like, you kind of said it and it stuck with me, a little transformer.
Yeah,
Like a little Apache helicopter / surfboard.
that totally works. So the main thing, right, is and I am really attached to the idea that you are using it incorrectly, and that's why you have to do everything that you do. That you are so insistent upon standing on this thing. Like, it has super safe handles and a harness, and you just don't use them. And you instead actively choose to crash land your robot sidekick every single time. So to the point of where you have to summon a new one on every floor.
God, I love it. You like you kill the boss, you interact with him, and he's like, all right, boss, where are we going again? You choose like the swamp, and he's like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna get wet.
Yeah.
And then you go crash, and he's like, God damn it, again, Rick.
Yeah, no, literally, like...
but it's like the story, he's like, God damn it.
Yeah, no, he should have a voice line every time you crash him that's getting progressively more exasperated. Like, that's another thing we can tie to the progression, is how exasperated your robot sidekick is.
Oh, final
Where, like,
boss.
at a
Final
certain-
boss is your robot.
Oh
As you
my
make him
God.
more and more high-tech at the end.
At the end, he's so over your shit, he fights you. No, that's perfect. That's actually
amazing.
perfect. But no, like, as you progress, it's like, you crash it, and it's like, I can't believe you gave me all of these upgrades just to still crash me.
This is why you couldn't make it into the evil mad scientist guild.
Yeah. This is why Margaret left you. Literally be like that meme. This is why mom doesn't fucking love you.
Oh my god, the best pun ever. I am now crumbs in the carpet. That's how you get ants.
Beautiful. Okay.
All right.
So,
Back to work. Back to work.
yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
how
So
do
red,
we
red circle's helicopter.
how do we reconcile him being medic bot if you need to find the remote to fly away? Is he in a different, like a slightly different form that couldn't carry you out?
Yeah, why do you have to kill the boss to get him to come to you?
Because the idea was the boss swallowed the remote, and so you're like stomping the remote out of its stomach. Like it could literally be you stomp on the boss, it coughs up the remote. And
Yeah,
then
but how would he
press the
revive you
button.
then if you don't have the remote?
That's
Maybe
the question.
maybe you have like a life alert bracelet. And like every time he comes and picks you up, and he's like, "You're lucky you have that bracelet because you keep losing the goddamn remote."
Yeah. Actually, no, I love that because it implies that he could have just had the remote also
The
pick
whole
him
time.
up
Yep.
and get him out.
But he's
or like the
too
bracelet
stupid to make
also
it
do
one
that.
tool. Exactly.
But he insists on having a separated system for his life alert versus transporting.
Yep.
Just to make it more complicated. Like, I want the feel to be that he could solve all of his problems in the most simple way possible, but he actively chooses to make it complicated.
Yeah, we're kind of making like a sitcom feel, right? Like these guys could solve all their problems if they just talk to each other, but instead they're just doing the dumbest thing possible.
Exactly.
That's where the humor's derived from.
I want that to be the vibe of like, I want all of the plot holes of like, why doesn't he just do this to be, because that would be too easy.
Yep. Because he's a grumpy old man, and this is the way things are done when you're a grumpy old man.
Exactly. Because he has to control his own life and make it complicated. And then if we ever miss something with continuity, it will be instantly explained by that.
Yes.
I love it.
This is so good. We finally have some actual narrative.
Yeah. And it's all the narrative we need.
It is, and it's like enough to like, if we ever need to add more, now I have like the thought process that I need to get into, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And then because our AI has, well, and it can be like Jarvis, right? And that's why like you keep getting new robots, but they still have the same personality because it's a central AI that controls all of your bots. So it can even be talking to you like on the main menu.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is basically your Jarvis, or the
I'm actually down for that.
The disembodied voice that's in Rick's garage. That's also his car.
That would actually make a lot of sense for the main menu.
Yeah.
The main menu is like you're in your shed lab.
You're in your
and
shed
you either
lab.
interact with the hoverboard to get in your hoverboard robot, or you interact with the research chamber, or I don't know what you do for settings. I don't know. Anyways, it gives us something to work with.
Yeah. I mean, settings could be, you know, you're augmented, so we could just be like, settings could even pull up, ooh, no, I've got it. Hang on.
Yeah, I really would like actually to take the time to draw a really simple mock-up of the main menu, so that way we have something to tell stuff.
Yeah. So let me switch back to Paint here.
And this will also, we could also take a second to look at how we want the pause menu and shit to look like in the research chamber UI.
Yeah. Yeah, let's, you know what, this will be a design day. It's fine. Let's just dig into all of this. We're both inspired enough that we can actually do it. And this is equally important. So
it is. I've been dreading stuff, having free time and being like, all right, so what am I making? It's like, I don't know.
So here's settings. We have like a full body scan up of our dude.
Oh, and you click on the little control panel.
And then on the side, you just have like, you know, audio. And when you hover over it, it like highlights his ears. And then video highlights his
settings.
eyes.
Yep. Gameplay is like his brain.
Yeah. Yeah, gameplay zooms in on his brain, on like his frontal cortex or something.
That's fun, actually. Make it kind of look like an X-ray machine, where like, or a CAT scan or something, where it like zooms in on parts of his body.
It can be super simple, just like blue outline or silhouette of him.
Yeah.
But then these things highlight. Yeah. You go to accessibility, and it shows like his false hip or something. I don't know. Maybe that's rude. I don't know. I don't know what jokes you can make about accessibility options without making it seem in bad taste, but like something.
People that have accessibility concerns typically tend to have a really good sense of humor and just want to be included in the joke. Because most people don't feel comfortable joking about it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. We will joke about it with confidence.
We'll joke about it with respect.
Yes. But yeah, it could be. I think when you click accessibility, there should be some sort of implication that he himself has a disability that he has augmented himself to compensate for.
Yeah, we highlight his brain.
Yeah. Highlight his brain, or he has a pacemaker or something. Like, which we need to think about what accessibility options we need.
Colorblind mode, arachnophobia mode.
Arachnophobia mode, yep. Photosensitivity mode.
Yep.
If we have anything super flashy. I don't know that colors... I don't think that there's any color-based thing that would make it impossible to progress if you can't differentiate them.
No, probably not.
But having things be more visible would definitely be good.
Yeah, colorblind mode would be more like red-blue blindness, making sure that like none of our like health bars are like red with blue outline or something.
Yeah, for sure. Projectile visibility. We can give projectiles outlines and stuff like that if people have a hard time seeing them.
Disable camera shake, that type of stuff.
Yep. So yeah, I'm thinking this is settings. We can double down on the life alert watch for the pause menu.
Yep.
Have him like look at his watch and the pause menu pops up. God, there's a joke I would love to make with that, but I don't think there's a way to really do it. Just because I love the joke in the old 007 games, or like the GoldenEye games, when he looks at his watch to pause, that nothing actually, in universe, he's just staring at his watch that entire time, and all of the bad guys are just so confused by it that they ignore him. But I don't think there's a way to do that with bugs.
Probably not.
It would be funny if like you could see a little bit of the environment in the background and the bugs are still walking around and just not attacking you. But which, since we have a way to just disable enemies, it might be best to do that instead of messing with time.
Oh, we're definitely not messing with time. That's for sure. That'll cause so many issues.
So, yeah. So pause will be his watch.
For reference, the big reason we can't mess with time is because I use tween for a lot of my UI animations.
Oh.
And tweens need timescale.
Yep, that will do it. So yeah, disable enemies, everything keeps moving, that makes sense. So yeah, we'll definitely, the pause should be full screen so that it doesn't look weird if anything's still happening in the background.
Yep.
It will be just like he looks at his watch and then a menu pops up that looks, I would say, probably pretty similar to, like, I think it would just be like an old school display.
Like he made an Apple Watch before Apple Watches were a thing.
I think he made an Apple Watch after Apple Watches were a thing.
But his sucks.
But he doesn't believe in LED screens.
CRT all the way.
Yeah. So it's like a full CRT screen on his watch.
What if we make his watch like a flip phone attached to his wrist?
That would be pretty fun. So here, I'll save this just so we have something.
Yep. So you can just take a screenshot of it and send it in our chat.
That's true. I guess I don't really need to export it. Who cares? So that will be settings. Main menu, I think. I know there's an easy way to just clear, but I don't remember what it is.
Control N to create new.
Then it prompts me if I want to save this one, and then flashbangs everybody, but yeah, it works. Man. You don't need to chew on that. You don't need to chew on it. Okay. So yeah, main menu is like... So main menu, you're normal sized for that, I would say. Like,
Yeah.
this is a thing you're
You're in your
going
shed.
off and doing during the day, and then you go back to your normal life at night. I don't think he shrinks himself and then is shrunk indefinitely. I think this is something he's actively choosing to do repeatedly. So we have... We have like a desk here. And on the desk we have random knickknacks. Like, I think we have a coffee mug that says like world's best scientist or something.
World's evilest dad.
World's evilest dad. Or we could do like world's second best mad scientist or something to to double down on it. But like we have a coffee mug that says something funny. We have random like junk and beakers and stuff. We have like a microscope with like a shattered lens with chunks of glass.
So let's talk about things you want to do on the main menu. Obviously play, obviously settings.
Yeah, so then we have
You want to be able to do meta upgrades?
a CRT screen here. Meta upgrades in-game only.
Okay.
We have a CRT screen here. I do just want to remember that in the background there's just like wooden planks, because this is a shed. And there's maybe like a gap in one of them where you can see a bit of the backyard.
Yeah.
So yeah, then on screen, so I would say on the desk is where the options are. So
And then in the background is just the main character walking around doing things.
I think No, I think that we're at his workstation right now. So he's working the computer. So then on the desk, there'd be like a secondary display that would say play, settings, or I guess we would want this to say something like embark or something like that.
Big red button, world domination.
Yeah. And then when you hover over each of these, the display should do something. So play should pull up, like, again, an image of you with like a shrink ray pointing at you or something. Like, this should be the indicator for the things you're clicking on. So, yeah. Let's think about this menu should make sense in universe, and then what appears on screen should clarify what it's going to do. Does that make sense?
Why do we want him to be at a computer?
Because this is his workstation.
Got it.
He's doing these things. And we're just controlling him, is kind of the idea.
Okay.
I like main menus where you never stop controlling the character. It feels like everything you're doing is what your character is doing in world, and it's just corresponding to game stuff. That way you're never leaving the game world in your mind. So instead of play, it would be, yeah, like there'd be a big red button over here that's like conquer the backyard. And then we would even have like a to-do list over here that's like
to-do, steal back, supercar.
Yeah. Yeah, like you have a bunch of arbitrary stuff, and then it's like shrink self circled.
Steal Dr. B's cat.
Yeah. And then yeah, so yeah, it's like so yeah, we'd have steal back, supercar, God damn it. Okay, maybe not that small.
Break into villain convention. And then the last one's just like call mom.
Yeah. So you'd have like steal back, supercar. There should be like really petty things like prank villain convention, or like stink bomb villain convention, because you know he's mad at them because they wouldn't let him in. And then up here should be conquer world. But then this one's just crossed out. And then we just have like
conquer bug world.
Didn't work next to it. And then, yeah, we have more stuff. Yeah, last one could be call mom, or like second to last one, and then down here we have shrink self to ant size. And that one has a check mark next to it. Like, this is the only thing we've actually done. And then down here we have conquer backyard. And
like circled.
That one's circled. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then down here we have a big red button.
What if the you don't have this monitor in front of you? What if like over on the right hand side of the screen is just this shrink ray on a tripod? When you hit the button, you see these like, you know, this ray coming towards you. The screen kind of fades out.
That works. Or this could be when you click on things, it gives you options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like down here you have a red button that's like, let's do this or something. You know, it should say something like he's giving himself a pep talk with it. And then when you click on it,
oh, the button says let me at him.
You right. Yep. With the pun?
No. So we make sure that people get what we mean by the pun.
Okay.
And then it's like apostrophe EM.
Oops. Yeah, not apostrophe M. Let's make this a little bit bigger. All caps for Adam. There we go. So we have that. And then we have another button that's like...
Wait,
right,
what if that's it? What if that's it, and then you have to hit like escape to open the settings menu?
You think so?
You have this just like, yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah.
That way, like, it's very immersive, right? There's like nothing that takes you out of it. It's just like I'm in my lair and I'm just waiting to smash this button to go fight shit.
Yeah, having a full display with one button fits
it's
really
kind of
well,
unique,
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I just played the finals. Have you seen that shooter? I
have not. I'll go look.
It's really fun, actually. It's free to play and there's no pay to win, which is rare to see. But it's a first-person shooter with destructible environments where basic premise is you're on a game show and you're trying to bank as much money as you can to win. And it's like 3v3 v3 v3, which is also pretty unique. It's 4 teams of 3. But their menu is like play, change your loadout, buy stuff with in-game currency, and that's it. And then you have to hit escape to open up your settings. And it actually does make it a lot cleaner.
And we don't really have, like, we really just have play and settings and quit. Those are like the only things you need to do. So we can just move settings and quit into the pause menu.
Yeah, and then just make sure you can pause. I think the only thing we would do different is if you pause in the main menu, it zooms in on the display here, and if you pause in game, it zooms in on his watch.
Yeah.
But the display is the same.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So, text doesn't come with it. That's great. Oh well.
You deleted the text before you dragged it.
Oh, did I? Whoops.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Oh god.
Joy.
Hang on.
It's because your white box is touching.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is fine. Ignore the white box. This is dev art. It's supposed to be ugly. Right, so we have one button. That says let me at him. And then when you click it, oh, and then here's a fun thing we can do. We could put a video, whatchamacallit, media player or whatever it is in Unity that just shows some gameplay clips. So that it's like he's just sitting there watching himself fight.
I like that.
And then when you click on this, it goes static. Displays gameplay clips. Until button pressed. And then after button, brief, static, then bird's eye view to select biome. Does that make sense, just as it's written?
Yeah, you're displaying like a bird's eye view of your property.
Yeah, so you click the button, the screen goes static for a second, and then loads the different biomes, and then they're like grayed out if you don't have them unlocked yet. And then you click on them here, and then it loads you in. Click on them here, click confirm or whatever, and then it loads you into that biome.
Might make sense to not have the gameplay clips. That sounds complicated. So instead, if that screen just shows your backyard and you click let me at him after you highlight one.
So you select it here and then click to confirm.
You like your monitor is just showing your backyard.
It's just showing what you have unlocked, and then you click on it on the monitor and then click let me at him to confirm that choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I can delete this. It's not super complicated. We would literally just have an MP4 of a loop of gameplay clips and then put it into a Unity media display.
Making it look good is the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's fair. And really, if we were going to go that far, we should probably do a bunch of other complicated stuff, like have it pair with how far you've progressed and stuff, which we're obviously not going to do. Not worth it.
I think this is a banger main menu.
Yep.
We can even add in extra fun stuff in the background.
Yeah. I love simplistic UIs with good visuals.
Yep.
Where the actual inputs you have to do anything are as minimal as possible, which this is great. It's 2 inputs to play the game now. You click the biome, you click play. Which is all UX is, is how can I achieve the thing I'm trying to achieve with the fewest inputs possible.
Well, also looking pretty.
Yes. Well, looking pretty
UX,
is UI.
Yep.
Functionality is UX. So yeah. And then we just have knickknacks littering the desk with
And
one
some
button.
extra contraptions in the background.
Yeah,
Like
contraptions.
his research chamber.
Maybe there's a newspaper here.
With an article about a failed scientist or something, and it's like burned at the edges.
That's just like
That would be a very easy way to let them know who the player is without having to have any cutscenes or anything.
Yep.
Professor X.
Mad scientist. Ooh. You ready for the curveball?
I'm watching.
I'm spelling conquer wrong.
Due to wardrobe malfunction. Due to herniated disc. Ants in his bionic pants.
Now he has motivation to kill the bugs.
It's all coming together.
This entire quest is because ants caused his bionic pants to fail. I'm just gonna say... various shitty looking knickknacks.
I think it is with a silent K on knickknacks.
Huh?
How the fuck do you
You know, I'm gonna spell it phonetically, given we're working with someone who English isn't their first language.
A small worthless... Trinkets is a good synonym.
You right. Various shitty looking. Trinkets and contraptions. Just clarify that, because I think trying to draw any more things is just going to confuse him further. There we go.
May want to put a note about the what's on the screen. I think we gotta fix that.
Right. God damn it. I know paint is supposed to suck.
Not this much.
Okay.
Map of backyard.
Yes.
It could actually be like a physical, like a wrinkly map with like two like electrodes slapped onto the side of it. Doesn't even have to be a computer monitor.
Yeah, I kind of like the CRT visual though.
Sure, no complaints here. I like it too.
I think it's a good aesthetic. To be like, there is technology, but it's all very intentionally outdated. Like, he knows he could update himself, and he's just being a stubborn old man. Right, so... Bird's eye view of backyard. Segmented into the various
clickable
biomes, which become visible as unlocked. Right, because we want there to be some sort of visual indicator of that, like, there's something here, you just don't know what it is yet. For the ones that aren't unlocked. Like, you'd have grasslands here, and then marsh would be over here, like, grayed out.
Yep.
And it should be one backyard, obviously, where the marsh is like a koi pond or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, if we want to do a factory level or something like that, it's just like a trash can. Which would actually be fun. Yeah, having a trash can level where the environments are trash instead of being natural, and like the enemies are all like flies and maggots and stuff.
Yeah.
The final boss is a raccoon.
And he's absolutely fucking massive.
Yeah. So massive that you see like a paw or a nose at any given time. Which is
like that Binding of Isaac boss that you just see like his foot stamp on you.
Yeah, her. That's mom. But that's actually, I want all of the bosses to be so big that they don't fit on screen. Like, I want that to be a consistent theme. Like, even Snake, you only see parts of it at any given time. Even if, like, it has a move where it slithers across the screen, it has to like, you only see part of it. It doesn't fully fit on screen, so you see its head, and then you see its body for, like, a second, and then you see its tail go by. And then it like coils up off screen and its head just shoots in and strikes at you, sort of thing. I want all of the final bosses should be so massive that you're seeing bits and pieces of them only. And then the mini bosses will just be like enlarged versions of the normal enemy. Or the minor bosses. They're not mini, necessarily. But like Queen Bee would just be a bigger bee, for example.
With just some extra movesets.
Yeah. Most of the minor bosses are pretty simple. They just have like a mechanic to beat them.
Yep.
So Queen Bee, for example, has 3 honeycombs. And she's basically directly based off of the Duke of Flies from Binding of Isaac, where she doesn't attack you. She just summons debuffed bees. And she has 3 honeycombs that you have to destroy before she's out in the open, and then you can kill her. Mama Spider is basically just Wolf Spider style. She has her babies on her back. And every time you hit her, she drops some of them. And then she otherwise just acts like a normal spider with more health. And then the Ant Queen was very similar, of just basically just being a giant ant that occasionally summons smaller ants and otherwise acts like a normal soldier ant.
It'd be funny to do right after the demo for a good cutscene into the full game. After you complete like 2 biomes, you end up meeting like your arch nemesis, and he has like full modern technology.
he's if we have a nemesis, no, wait, we actually should. What we
Oh
should
my
do
God.
is we
She's
should
so
have,
fast.
huh?
She's so fast.
What? Oh my, what?
That was literally 26 minutes.
I didn't expect to see something today.
She
Jesus.
messaged me back. She's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable like representing your whole brand and giving you a final logo, but I am more than confident just giving you some concept art for free. I was like, yeah, okay.
Works, yeah. That's some good ass concept art. Anyway, Brain Blast. This should be the premise. We should do a fake out final boss where the real bad guy is your AI. Right, we talked about the final boss being your Jarvis, basically.
Yeah.
But who you think is going to be the final boss the entire time is just an absolutely insufferable, like 22-year-old scientist.
Yes, it's like a finance bro, talks like a finance bro. Yeah.
Exactly. And is just like every time you get into a new biome, he's been there for a while. And you just see
nice
signs
to
of
finally
him.
join me.
And he's just like overly nice to you in the most condescending way.
Hey, Grandpa, how's your day going?
Yeah. And just has the more high-tech version of like as you're like grotesquely growing bug parts out of yourself, he just has like an exosuit that's completely non-invasive. And then fight at the end of the game, you finally fight him, beat him, think the game is over, and then your bot is just like, I am so tired of you using me incorrectly, making me more and more advanced, only so that you can crash me at the end. You programmed me to feel pain. Why?
Now I'm gonna show you pain.
Why would you program me to feel pain if you're only going to crash me?
We send a screenshot of what we're working on here.
Yeah.
So we don't lose it.
My entire PC crashes, as it often does.
Yeah, that was exactly my worry. Okay, so we have main menu, we have settings, upgrade menu. We kind of know what we're doing with the DNA stuff.
Yeah. So what we want ultimately is it zooms in on the computer screen that's next to the chamber, and then the UI is like pool of matter. What was it? Okay, actually, yeah, let's solidify that.
It's like a blob of bug guts that you zoom into.
Yeah. So we have so what are the stages? You have category, weapon,
or weapon category tier.
Weapon category tier. Okay. So weapon category. I'm just gonna make it like a slideshow, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Weapon category. Or I guess no. So we start top level. Weapon category So top level, we have three puddles of goop. Which represent melee, projectile, player. And then you select one. And then in the weapon menu, you just zoom in into one of the pools, right? And then we have actually, yeah, let's so then we zoom in on one. And then we have, like, a little cell here. And then a little cell here. This is visually atrocious, but it's fine. I don't art.
Hey, me either.
I audio art. I do not visual art. What color did I use for the main one? How big is this? Right. So then we have this, and this is nope. Text black. So then we have physical on hit, and these will change a little bit, like on take hit or whatever. So, following so far, we've got our globs of goo. We click on melee, it zooms in on this, and we can see the cells inside of the goo.
Yeah, follow. This is what we had last time. Yep.
Just want to make sure I'm recapping everything properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then we zoom in on a cell. And we have actually DNA strand 1.
If we could manage to get all the art for this shit correct, man, it's gonna be so good.
Yep. That's the hope. We can only hope we'll do it right. Or we'll hire someone who does it right.
Yeah.
More accurately.
That we can communicate what we want correctly.
That's why even really bad concept art is very helpful.
Yep. I think that logo concept art is amazing.
Yep. Yeah, like if we could even just send this shit to her and then send what she sends back to stuff.
Yeah. Paying for that extra step in the process, though.
Yeah.
Pain.
That's the tough part. This honestly doesn't look bad conceptually, though. Like, the colors are terrible, but the, I think it communicates what we want pretty well, even in this form.
Yes.
I don't think I'm doing a bad job as a dev artist here. Right, and then we would have, wait.
I think you're one step too deep.
Yeah, I think
You take your orange and move it to tier. And then what was in the middle was like the pieces of the cell, like the mitochondria and whatnot.
Yeah. No, you're right. So this... Yep. This doesn't exist. Just don't step on my keyboard. Thank you. Right. So yeah, we only have 3. God damn it. Okay. Delete these. I get the paint is destructive, and that's just how it is. But man, I wish I could edit text.
Yeah, I wish I knew how to use Photoshop. One of these days.
I know how to use Photoshop, but it's just not worth it's not worth the effort of creating a Photoshop project just for something like this. And I can't. I don't think I could stream Photoshop with Unity open anyway.
Is Photoshop that heavy?
It's pretty heavy, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much, I guess. It is an Adobe product.
So this would be player melee, or yeah, melee projectile, and then you zoom in on a cell, and we get physical, on hit, AOE, and then we go to the next level. We're fully, oh, okay, that doesn't connect fully. Oh, because the bottom. That does make sense, actually. That one's on me. Right, so then we get to here. It's fully zoomed in. One second, I gotta answer something real quick. Okay. So now, at this point, we have fully zoomed in. And then I guess this should actually go one more level, which is unfortunate. It's fine. Because then we want to say tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, etc. And then we want to zoom in one more time to where it's pretty much this isn't a very good representation of it, but list of effects in tier. So are you not gonna let me zoom in a little bit more moderately? Just gonna do this then. Okay. So we have a glob of goo with cells in it. You click on a cell, it shows the DNA sequences. You click on a DNA sequence, it zooms in so that each rung is a tier that you have available. You click on a rung, it zooms in on that rung and just lists all of the... This is where it just becomes buttons.
I'm struggling to see how this is going to look UI-wise, but it's the concept that I want, yeah.
Yeah. You see goo. Each of these cells is buttons. It zooms, the cell expands, and these appear. You click on one of them, they expand, and the rungs appear. You click on a rung, it expands, and you see all of the effects. So I'll send this.
Here, what about... This is interesting.
God damn it. I keep Chrome as my default browser because it's what I want to use anytime I'm not streaming. But then I click on links, and it forces Chrome back open. Because I keep forgetting I need to copy it and paste it into Opera for it to work. It's so funny to be streaming right now. Because it's New Year's Eve and no one's watching streams anyway, and then this is what we're doing.
Yeah, we're being about as boring as possible.
But it's such like a, well, might as well. Okay. So is this just like an example of cell-based AI that you're showing me?
Oh, I was just
UI, I mean.
I was trying to find like places to things that interact with cells. Just like seeing how other people did it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Is this just like an example of how to do this style of UI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That second link's even more interesting. That's crazy as shit. In that link that I just sent you, the button below the paint bucket is really interesting.
Okay. Problem detected. Sorry, your browser is not supported. Fuck.
Well, never mind.
I mean, I'll use Chrome. We'll see what happens. Immediately not enough memory.